Okay, this is day one. Love is patient. Be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 2 in the New English Bible. Love works. It's life's most powerful motivator, and for greater depth and meaning that most people realize. It will always does what is best for others and can empower us to face the greatest problems. We are born with lifelong thirst for love. Our hearts desperately need it, like our lungs need oxygen. Love changes our motivation for living. Relationships become meaningful with it. No marriage is successful without it. Love is built on two pillars. The best way to define it, what it is. Those pillars are patience and kindness. All other characteristics of love are extensions of those two attributes, and that's where your love dare begins, with patience. Love will inspire you to become a patient person. When you choose to be a patient, you will respond in a positive way to a negative situation. You are slow to anger. You choose to have long fuse instead of a quick temper. Rather than being restless and demanding, love helps you to settle down and begin extending mercy to those around you. Patience brings an internal calm. No one likes to be around an impatient person. It causes you to overreact in angry, foolish, and regretful ways. An irony of anger is a wrongful action. It spawns new. Anger almost never makes things better. In fact, it usually generates additional problems, but patience stops problems in their tracks. More than biting your lip, more than clapping your hand over your mouth, patience is a deep breath. It clears the air. It stops foolishness from whipping its scorpion tail all over the room. It is a choice to control your emotions rather than allowing your emotions to control you, and shows discretion instead of returning evil for evil. If your spouse offends you, do quickly retaliate, or do you stay under control? Do you find that anger is an emotional default when treated unfairly? If so, you are spreading poison rather than medicine. Anger is usually when the strong desire for something is mixed up with disappointment or grief, or you don't get what you want and you start heating up inside. It is often an emotional reaction that flows out of your own selfishness, foolishness, and evil motive. Patience, however, makes us wise. It does rush to judgment and but listens to the one person the other person is saying. Patience stands in the doorway when anger is clawing to burst in, but it waits to see the whole picture before passing judgment. The Bible says, "He who is slow to anger but has great understanding, but he who is quickly tempered exalts folly." As that's Proverbs 14, verse 29. As for a lack of patience, you will turn your home into a war zone. The practice of patience will foster peace and quiet. A hot-tempered man stirs up strife, but the slow to anger calms a dispute. Proverbs 15 to 18. Statements like these from the Bible look for proverbs of clear principles and timeless relevance. Patience is where love meets wisdom, and for every marriage needs the combination to stay healthy. Patience helps give your spouse permission to be human. It understands that everyone fails. When a mistake is made, it's usually to give more time than they deserve and or choose to correct it. It gives you the ability to hold on to the tough times by your relationship rather than bailing out under the pressure. But can you or your spouse count on your patient wife or husband to deal with? Can you know that locking her keys in the car will be met with by your understanding rather than demeaning lecture about how she feels like a child? Can you know that cheering during the last seconds of the ball game can invite a loudmouth laundry list of ways that I could spend the time? It turns out that few people are hard to live with as an impatient. What the tone and volume of your home is like is the tried and tested Bible approach. So, no one repays another with evil for evil, but always seek after what that is which is good for another. That's 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 15. Few of us do patience very well, and none of us do it naturally, but wise men and women will pursue it as an essential ingredient of the marriage relationship. It is a good starting point to demonstrate true love. This love dare is a journey and a process. The first thing you must resolve to possess is patience. Think of it as a marathon, not a sprint. It's a race worth running. The first part of the love dare is fairly simple. Although love is communicated in a number of ways, our words often reflect the condition of our heart. For the next day, resolve to demonstrate patience and say nothing negative to your spouse at all. If the temptation arises, choose not to say anything. It's better to hold your tongue than say anything that you'll regret. Check that you completed today's dare. Did anything happen to cause anger towards your mate? Were you tempted to think disapproving thoughts like to let them come out in your words? So, because today's love dare is simple, it is basically if the temptation arises, although love is communicated, our words for the next day resolve to demonstrate patience. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate patience and say nothing negative to your spouse at all. If the temptation arises, say nothing. It's better to hold. So that's what I'm going to be trying to do today on 17th. I will report the progress and put it ready for day 2, which is love is kind. Thank you for listening.